everyone. This is Deb Joy Sneak with Delight of My Art, and I'm delighted to announce that we have day 5 in our October Christmas craft along today. I have made it. I've made it back from out of town, and I've taken care of my family, and now we can go and craft together. So I hope that everybody's able to pop in. I know that this is later than our normal time, so we'll just wait a few seconds to see if anybody can pop on. And I'm thrilled to say that we have so many new team members this month too because of this amazing joining special. So welcome, huge welcome to our newest team members. I think I have nearly doubled my team this month, which is wonderful. Our team, I should say. Our Delightful Stampers team is so much better off with more people in it, more smiling faces, and I'm so excited. So here we have our October Christmas craft along, and there's lots of different ways that you can get this in your hands. There's and it's all in the video description here, so I won't go over it. I went over it the last 4 days. We're just going to go ahead and skip ahead to what's going on here. Welcome to Liz and Leslie and Netta. Welcome. Okay, let's go ahead and get down to the desktop here. This is my 38-page tutorial here. I'm going to follow along in the directions here for our 2 projects today. We're on day 5 of 6. So here is our first project for today. It is a fold back card. Wonderfully simple and a fun fold. So that is what we're going to be doing today. And of course, this one is going to be a little bit different than the one on the tutorial. So this is the tutorial one. This is created by me. So today's 2 projects were created, designed by me. And the other days we're taking turns. We have Beth Maxwell and Sherry Oseki also contributing to all of the fun design work this week. So thank you so much to them. If you want to check out their YouTube channels, they are at, well, Beth is at My Stamp Studio, and you can find Sherry by at Loved by Him Designs. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you all of the measurements for the items that we're doing today, and we'll go ahead and put these together. Welcome, Jane and Becky. All right, so we have a card base here, and it's a little bit smaller than your regular card base. So I'm going to look at my directions to make sure I don't tell you anything wrong. And of course, we are human, so if you find some mistakes in the directions, please let us know. If hopefully we've done a good job, but there's some things that we might not have gotten. All right, so this one is 7.5 by 5.5. So 7.5 by 5.5, which is just 1 inch shy. So you can see here that we've just cut off 1 inch on the front side. And so it's just scored like a regular card on the side here. So we're going to score this on the long side at 1 inch and at 4 1/4. So 1 inch and 4 1/4. So this shorter side is going to be the front, and this little bendy backy piece is going to be our little fold back part. So we'll keep this over here for our inspiration picture. And now we can fold and burnish this card base. Becky's going to watch the replay later. Welcome back, Becky, to the replay. All right, let's go ahead. We can well, we don't need to burnish this back one. It's just like a slight bend. All right, so this is Mossy Meadow, by the way, our card base here. And I'm using paper from the Elegant Pine Snowflakes Designer Series paper. And oh, this is from the next one. Whoops, I'm grabbing the wrong things. That's a sneak peek. You didn't even see it. All right. I've got all my pieces over here. So the piece over here, I love this pattern, and I actually used it on my next project too. And so we're going to be using some of the darker ones in my alternate one, but I really love this pattern in particular because it's just so many just fun Christmassy greenery. You know, it's just so classic. And then we have this kind of frosty looking old olive piece here. And so that's what we're going to be using for this one. And I've got this, see this pine snowflake? It's so pretty. I would never have thought to do snowflakes with pine boughs, but it's just so fun and interesting. So the DSP here is 3 inches wide by 5 1/4 tall. So that gives you enough to have a little bit of a border on that whole piece there. And then this frosty piece here is 7/8 of an inch wide by again 5 1/4 tall. So that goes here and it actually goes right up against that fold, the fold that we did right there, so that you have a border all around the edge here. But when we put the white piece in, which is the same size as that DSP, the 3 inches by 5 1/4, when we put this in, then we still have that wonderful even border around this whole piece and this whole piece. It just makes it look really nice. So when this closes, that will kind of butt up against that designer series paper there. So we're just going to go ahead and glue on the front, or these two DSP pieces. I do want to do my stamping on the inside before we glue that in, because if there's a mistake in my stamping, I'll just turn it over because paper has two sides, right? Hello, Karen from Oregon. I'm so glad you guys are joining me today. How have you been enjoying the Craft Along series? I hope everybody's liking it. It's always fun to get new inspiration, watch along, and be able to play along with the products that you have in your own house. This is almost like mystery stamping too, right? You can use whatever you have. You don't have to buy these exact products in order to play along, but you can. They are available if you would like to play with these exact ones too. So either way, I am so excited to be able to inspire and encourage crafting, because it's just so much fun, right? Why is this being silly? Okay, well, that goes there. There we go. All right, yeah, that goes right up against that edge there. And now we can do our stamping for the inside. We're going to use real red ink. And let's see, what did we put on the inside here? I forget. We got our Foldback. Sending Christmas wishes. Sounds good. I'll get that out here. Real red. Hopefully inked enough. Tap, tap, tap is what you need. There we go. And we do want to get out our little label. I've die cut all of those pieces for you if you did get that full tutorial. I did notice in our online store that we are out so far, no, I mean temporarily, of the Christmas tags and more mix and match specialty designer series paper until mid-month in November. So that means that it's going to be a little bit difficult for us to get your packages out in the first week of November like I was planning to. So those might be later than anticipated. So I apologize for that, but I don't know what else to do. I might be able to get a few packages to create those and put those together, but I might not. I'm not sure. I can't make any promises because I don't know how that's gonna go. All right, so here is our other piece here. This is from the branching out label die cuts. It's about 2 by 3.5. I love these labels. They're all layering, and they just have just the nicest shape. It's just nicer than a rectangle, just a little bit of pizzazz on the corners, right? All right, so we're gonna do let's put this on the inside and get it out of the way before we mess it up and get ink on it or something. Let's go ahead and stick this on the inside. I love this layout because it's quick and easy, and it's a wow. And those are my favorite. Quick and easy and a wow. Yes, please. All right, so let's get out our tree stamp. There's a couple different trees that you can do with this set, and we'll be using a different one in the next one, but I'm going to be using this kind of fluffy pine right here, and we're going to be stamping that in Mossy Meadow. Oh, and I didn't grab that ink pad out yet, so just a moment while I go grab that one. It's just over here. And there we go. Mossy Meadow. This will match our card base here. And we're just going to stamp that on that label piece. I don't know if you noticed at the beginning of the video, I've got all of our projects so far up on display underneath my card rack there. My rack of colors of cardstock. So we're going to have to add to it after today. Oh, look how cute that is. All these little cute pine boughs. Okay, so when it goes over here, we are just attaching it behind that right side because this side is going to be completely free to fold back so that you can open up the card, of course. And it looks like I did do a little bit of sponging on the edges. So let's just take a sponge dauber and just kind of dab that just to give it some depth too. You don't need to do this part. It's just a little extra fun optional. But I think that I did it on this one because it's Old Olive going on Old Olive. And if you have this kind of lighter piece over here, it just gives it a little bit more contrast. Now we're putting it on a darker piece. So we'll have to see if it has that same effect or not. It's worth a try. I don't often do sponging, but I feel like this is a technique that was used a lot in card making when I very first started getting into crafting, probably in the earlier 2000s and the 90s, where you just sponged like at the edge of everything, right? And it does make it kind of stand up. I like that look. But it is an extra step, so of course, optional. Whatever you'd like to do, that's the name of the game. I did use linen thread in my one over here, but we can use the red and white baker's twine on this next one too. Okay, so I'm gonna do a Stampin' Seal because this is a nice strong hold and this is gonna be kind of a moving piece. We are just going to run that on that right side, just right there. And it's going to go flat. So that way it kind of holds the whole card shut too. So I'm going to make sure that that's straight before I really push it down. And I'm hoping that I didn't go too far over with my adhesive. We're just going to take a peek here and see. It looks good. Okay, so I can give that a good press now. After making sure that it's straight though, let's make sure it's straight. There we go. All right. And now we have our Christmas tree, but we want to add our twine first. And I added my banner before I added my sequins, so I didn't need to waste any sequins underneath our banner here because we don't like to waste products. We like to use a lot. We want to make it look like we've really spoiled somebody by using a bunch of fun embellishments, but we also want to have enough for everybody. So we do little secret things like that. Same with our cheaty bows and our tucking shorter pieces of cardstock behind so that you can, or cutting, when you make a layer. I'm just rambling right now. When you have a layer behind something, you can cut out the center of it, especially if it's a gold piece, so that you can use that piece of paper almost twice that way. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I'm just rambling. It's getting late. That's almost, well, it's almost 7. That's not super late. I've just had a long day. Hi, Vesta. Welcome back. I know I was kind of an impromptu because I was dropping my kids off at they were going to a football game tonight and he's going to a sleepover. He invited a girl over today for dinner and I didn't want to mess it up. So I was like, I'm just going to do my video after all of that. So my 15-year-old invited a girl over. and they just hung out for a smidge before going to the game. So walking around in the woods and um, playing a game before I brought Chinese home. I was gonna make dinner. I didn't even go grocery shopping yet, so I kind of panicked and went, we're just gonna have to do Chinese takeout. I don't know. So that's what it was, and it was good, and everything was fine. And now I can focus on you guys. Whew. But it has been a crazy busy day. Good day, a good day, for sure. Okay, so here's our cute little banner here. And now we can find, oh, and now I've got to find out what I did with my sequins because we definitely want to decorate our tree. Where did I put my sequins? I was gone for the day, so they should be here somewhere. We might need to decorate those at the end if I can't find those at the moment, because you know what they'll look like. It'll look like this. So this is what we have for our first card here. Very cute. It's a fold back card. And once I find those sequins, we're going to plop those on the front of that second one there. So let me know if you like the light one or the dark one better. They both look nice to me. I'm not sure which one I like better. They both have a fun Christmassy look. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the second project. This one is fun. This was one that the other one that I designed. This is a shaker box, and it's a pull-out box. So I have I just happened to have this on hand, and it fit in there perfectly. But you know what else fits in there? This package of fun size M&Ms would fit in there. You could probably fit a couple of those in there. So it just perfectly fits right in there. I bet you could do peanut M&Ms or a row of little fun size candy bars. Lots of things could fit in there, and it would fit a gift card as well. So I'm going to show you how to create, and that has those fun shaker stars in there, but we also stamped behind here too. So I'm going to show you how to do all of that. And of course, we are changing the colors just a little bit, so you'll have to let me know which one you like the best. All right, so here's our inspiration. Here we go. Turn my tutorial page to the right page so I'm telling you the right dimensions. All right, so we've got our pieces here. So here's our base for the box. This is 9 inches by 4 1/4. And then we also have a little bit of a strip for the sentiment. And actually, since I'm doing it on the dark, we did it here with the white embossing. I'm going to do it in white because of the paper that I've chosen for the second one. And I think this will stand out a little bit better on this one. And I didn't think it was going to stand out enough on the white background one. So whatever paper that you choose, you can do a red or a white banner there. So that's what I was gonna point out there. And since this paper has some old olive in it, I'm going to choose to do an old olive piece behind here. As you know, there you can see there's garden green behind this one, but this one I'm going to choose to do it in old olive. So this will kind of be the color scheme for this box that I'm doing. All right, and we have our tree shaker domes to assist us with this fun shaker. Okay, so this piece here is 2 3/4 by 4. It's just a little bit smaller than the box top because it's going to be glued to the top of the inside there. You can see that kind of just right there holding everything in, and that's an important piece in there. So that's where that's going to go. And then this piece of designer series paper is 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. And then we also need a piece of basic white, and this is going to be that slide out box piece here, 6 7/8 by 8 1/8. And that eighth is important because we we need it to fit in here so it's not too loose and not too snug and all of that. So that's the reason for those littler measurements. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our scoring on all of these pieces that need scoring. All right, we're going to take our trimmer out again, park the dark one and just use that lighter blade here. We're going to score this one and we're just scoring along on the long side here. 1, 4, 5, and 8. And in the tutorial, I do have a diagram to show you how to do all of those pieces here. So that is helpful for you. So 1, 4, 5, and 8, which is actually 1 on this side. So that's how that looks. We've got 1 inch from each side, and then so 1, 4, 5, and 8. So this area is going to be our front. So we're actually going to be die cutting on this piece after we glue some things on, but since we have the trimmer out here, let's go ahead and also do our box base as well. So again, this is 6 7/8 by 8 1/8, and we're going to score it on all sides at 1 and 2 inches. So that's an easy measurement. So I'm going to do 1 and 2. Probably be easiest if I just did it on that one side. 1 and 2. Get it straight in there. Turn 1 and 2 on every side. Because it's a double reinforced box, it will be nice and sturdy as you're sliding it in and out. And there is a trick to it, and I forgot when I was making my original. And then when I was remaking the box to pull out, because it was a little bit too snug and I redesigned the dimensions, I forgot the same step again. So before we glue it all together, we're going to make this notch. So remind me not to glue it together yet. We have that notch to do. So I have a punch here somewhere that we're going to do that before we do that. So we're going to put this part aside. We're going to make the red one first. I just wanted to do this while we had the trimmer out. Again, that was scoring at 1 and 2 inches on all sides for that box. So let's just go ahead and put our trimmer away. And again, we have our piece here that is 9 by 4 1/4, scored at 1, 4, 5, and 8. And we'll just go ahead and fold all of those like so, just a smidge, because we're gonna be doing some die cutting here. So we might even need to re-score those pieces. Oh, did I bump this? I'm sideways. What's going on? Hang on. Watch this. We're just gonna tip it back again, maybe. Oh, what's going on? I wonder if I got a phone call and it just kind of screwed everything up a little bit. I'm not even sure. Whoops. Okay. Well, let's see. Oh yeah, this is better. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, back to the beginning here. All right. Not the beginning. All right. So we have our tree die cut from that same stamp set. It coordinates with the tree shaker domes, and we're going to need to cut our tree out from this piece. But first, we're going to have to put our designer series paper on top. So I want it on this panel right here. And to glue this on, I'm just going to add glue to the outer edge so that when we die cut from the middle, we'll be left with a red tree and a designer series paper tree that are not glued together. So you can free to use those on any project that you'd like in the future. So let's just go ahead and add this to the box front. And there's no direction on this, so that's kind of nice. Is everybody still with me? I'm not sure what happened there. I looked up and everything was up and down and sideways and all sorts of weird. So can you guys still see and hear me okay? Let me know in the comments. I think I'm caught up on comments, but I haven't seen any recent ones. So we'll just double check here. Says I'm still live. I think I'm still live. Hopefully everything's good. Let me know. All right, we'll just keep going and hopefully I see some comments pop up that are new here. We have our tree here and we're just going to put that right here in the middle since we have that panel already done. I'm not seeing any comments, so this is making me a little bit worried that we're not live, even though it says that we're live. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. All right, I'm gonna push this up just the tiniest bit. So I've got about the same on all of those sides because I want enough room for my label here. So maybe even a smidge up even further. I'm gonna put that here. Oh, good. Ingmarie saved me. You said, hello from Sweden. I am live. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I was a little bit worried. Okay. Phew. All right. So I'm going to take my, my whole big die cutting machine. And you're going to need the big one for this one because you don't want to crunch. This is going to be a little bit too wide to go through the mini. And so I'll get out my plates here, my well-used plates. And we will just run this one through. Got a die cut there. Okay. So, no, the other side wasn't put down. That one might make a difference. Okay, here we go. That off to the side here. We've got our pieces. And now we should be all set. So when we pop this out, we have two separate pieces, which is nice. So I'll just put those off to the side and put that into my stamp case later. And now this piece, we're going to do some stamping right through the hole here so that we can line that up real nice. Actually, you know what I did now that I remember? I stamped, since this is stars, I just stamped this as a pattern, keeping going. So whatever you looked at through the window, it would just definitely be lined up because it's just stars in the background. So you could line it up in the window if you wanted to and just stamp through, or you could just cover it with stars and that's gonna be good too. So let's do it that way. That way we're not gonna make any mistakes. Let me get my ink pad for Old Olive. I have Old Olive on my tutorial, so I forgot that I was meaning to use that one. Okay, so Old Olive here. And so we'll just kind of do a pattern. I'm gonna go like so. I'm gonna go backwards like this. Just go back and forth with the tree. We're only really concerned about the middle section. Look at that, it lines up pretty good. Okay, facing the other way. Look at that, that worked out pretty good. So it's definitely gonna have stars show through, and it didn't need to be fussily lined up at all. So that's my trick on that one. I like tricks. You guys getting that? I like to take the shortcut when you can sometimes. All right, so here's going to be our box. We have our flap. piece here is going to be on the top. So I'm going to have that one be on the outside and the other one can tuck in. So this is going to be how that's going to go. But first we have to do all of our shaker bits and do all of that piece. So don't glue that one together yet. So we have our backing piece already. That's wonderful. We're going to take our shaker star here. This is our shaker piece. And you are going to take the front off and slip that through the hole here, lining it up as best you can, like so. Give it a pinch, make sure all of those edges are sealed. You don't want to lose any of our fun little sequins when you have your shaker card. If you don't have domes, you could still make a fun shaker card by putting a window sheet, just covering the back of that hole with a window sheet. And it's going to be the same kind of thing. And then you could put another piece behind it. So here we're going to turn it over and we're going to add our fun shaker stars. Before we put these in, I want to start the edge of this piece, because when you push it on here, you have that bit of plastic there. And when you try to get that backing off, you're almost like accidentally getting that plastic bit. And so I don't want you to be, going after this and it's got a bunch of sequins in here and it kind of flies everywhere, right? So we want to be ready with that backing kind of ready for us to just easily take it off. So that's going to be another quick tip and hint for making things easy for you. We're going to add 2 or 3 kind of pinches of shakers. Oh, and try to get them in the middle. And they kind of go all over the place because they stick to your fingers with a little bit of static, but you can easily kind of pull those away where they need to go. And whatever gets stuck on the back here, it's going to be hiding behind on the underside of the box anyway. So, ooh, those kind of popped out. Okay. So let's add one more kind of pinch. Is that 3 pinches? 3 pinches. That's the official measurement. All right, so this piece is ready to go in there. It's going to be a snug fit with about, well, 1/4 of an inch, I guess, around the edges. So once I take off that backing sheet, we should be ready to go. And I think I have a star sticking right here, so we're going to stick that back in the middle here. I'm going to carefully pull this off because I don't want these flying everywhere. I'm glad we had that started already. And then we will just put that on here. We want to give this a good press and make sure that it's on there really good. Because if this piece is loose, you're going to lose sequins from the inside of your box. So we can give this a good press around. And really, I think I should have added some glue underneath the edges here too. So you know what I'm going to do is kind of sneak my glue tip in here. Just going to make sure those corners are stuck down so that when this slides in and out of the box, it doesn't catch on our interior box, because that wouldn't be very good. So sorry, I should have done that first. You guys can learn from my mistakes. Isn't that why you watch me? To make sure that you don't make the same mistakes I do. Here's how not to be. All right, so here is the start of our box, slider box. And you know what? If it's messy, it's just the inside. Once it dries, everything's going to be good, and you won't be able to see any mistakes that you made from that side. All right, so I want to make sure everything's pushed down around those edges here. Ooh, how does it look? We've got our old olive in there. And then here's where we're going to make that box. Oh, it's looking cute. All right, so I'm going to put some liquid glue here. And you could do tear and tape or seal, whatever you'd like to use. And of course, this is going to be gumming up on camera. There we go. So that top one we want on the outside. And just give it a pinch. Thanks for the hearts, Vesta. All right, so that's our outside piece. Now we can put the inside together and then we'll decorate it. Okay, so remember, we did this one already. It's 6 7/8 by 8 1/8, and we scored it on all the sides at 1 and 2 inches. So now I'm going to show you how to cut this so that you can turn this into a wonderful box. So we have 4 squares in the corner here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I'm going to cut at the 2 score lines over right here, up those 2 score lines, like so, right there. And I'm going to cut up to 1 score line on this corner. And I'm going to cut, basically cutting away the outer 3 score lines, or squares rather. So those outer 3 squares, and I want this one to be a flap, and I want it to be a flap kind of this way and this way. So this one's going to be here. We're going to have another flap here, and then one pointing this way and one pointing this way. So we're going to do the same thing on all of the corners, but I do want to miter these little flappies so that they tuck in real nice. So we're just going to have it be looking a little bit like that, and then doing it the same thing over here. So again, we've got those 4 right there. And if you've ever made a reinforced box, this is just something that you know and have probably done before. But again, we're just cutting away those outer 3 corners and keeping 1 flat. Doesn't really matter how you cut those 3 away. Just keeping your 1 flap there. So that's how that side's going to look, and the same thing on the other side. So we're just going to turn it around and do the same thing here. If you have to burnish your folds or something to get to see them better, the white is a little bit hard to see, especially on camera, I bet. So we can go up both of those if we want to. I'm probably doing it a little different on all of these, just to show you you can get there any which way. And of course, you've got that diagram in the tutorial, so that makes it real easy. Just make it look the same. Okay. And our little notches. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here is our box, and we did all the scoring on this side, which means all of these will be the mountain folds. So we're going to be pushing all of these kind of inwards. I'm just going to gently kind of coax those to go the way that they should go, and then we will start gluing that together. So these 4 flaps here will need to have adhesives as you push them in, as the whole thing is curving up, because those will make the box corners at the first point, and then all of these upper flaps are going to curve in and cover up all of those flaps. It's a very nice and clean looking box. This is a great way to do any sort of box shape. So whatever size you want this piece to be, you can do that, and then just add 2 inches on each side. Okay, so these 4 flaps, I'm going to do, because I don't want to wait for the liquid glue to dry, I'm just going to do a little bit of Seal Plus towards the folded area, which will keep it the snuggest. Okay, so before we go any further, let me find my circle punch, because I want to do a little notch right here before we fold this over and glue it down. I don't know what happened to my circle punch. I had it right here. Is it this one? I think it is. 1 3/4. It doesn't really matter what size, but we're going to do this before we go any further. So I'm just going to fold one of these edges. It doesn't matter this one or this one, but it's going to be the shorter one, not the longer one. Those are the side ones. So we want that little notch to be right there. So you don't have to push this in very far. It's just a little bit of a notch. And it's going to work a lot better as this thing is flat, because otherwise this doesn't fit over the edge of this while it's all folded up. So we just want that to be a tiny little notch. I'm going to line up the edge of my punch with the edges I see here. And I see the edges of my punch here kind of lining up with the score lines here, so I can kind of tell that that's hopefully centered. And I'm going to give that a press. And it's going through 2 pieces of cardstock because we folded that, see? So as that folds up, you can tell that that is now a little notch there. That's good. Okay, good. I remembered. That's good. All right, so I'm going to do the corners now. And we're going to go here. And we got a little flyaway here. Well, let's just trim that. And here. I'm off camera. Oops, sorry. Right there. And it looks like we have a little tail there. So maybe on the notch side, we can just kind of trim that little piece away. The whole thing's going to get covered up. All of these tabs on the inside, you won't see those at all. So, okay. So we have our box. Now we can go ahead and add adhesive to the inside of those pieces and then fold them in. And I think I did that before when the whole thing was flat and then just maneuvered it, but it's okay. We can do it now too. We can use liquid glue. We can use Seal Plus. In fact, if I tip this to the side, I think it might be easy to add that now. See? Okay, yeah. If we put this to the side there, then we can add that adhesive without too much fuss. With my head in the camera. Okay. There. Okay, so that it has the adhesive on the inside, so when you push it in, it just nicely gets in there. So give that a good burnish. We can take our bone folder too, and we're gonna press this really nicely once it's all in there too. So press each side in. If you need to, you can trim just the tiniest little smidge off of these. If we didn't trim that just right enough, I might do that just a hair. The tiniest little sliver. It felt a little snug. Okay, right like that. And this side doesn't need it. Okay, so now it's looking nice and clean on the inside, but I still want to press that. So I'm going to take my bone folder and kind of put it in those corners and really press down on that adhesive and on those box top edges so that it really makes it strong and pretty. Just like you, right? Strong and pretty. So here we go. And the last side here. Okay, so nice and strong box, and this should fit perfectly in here if we did everything right. Oh, I got a little edge kind of sticking out there. Okay. It's perfect. Wonderful. So it should be just the tiniest bit shorter than the length here so that it kind of hides in there. Perfect. Okay, so now we just get to decorate the front. So I like the size of this one because it can fit so many different things. And you could decorate the top differently on different pieces. It would be simpler to make these for craft fairs without the shaker bits, but you could sell them for more with the shaker bits on top too. So it's up to you. We're gonna do the 'Tis the Season again, but we're gonna do it in red on white to be quicker, and I think that will show up a little bit better on this darker paper. Let me know which one you like the best. Whether you like the darker one here or this lighter one. I might like the lighter one, but it was fun to experiment with different colors, right? And we can put this little pack in this one. Here we go. Get in there. And we're just going to angle cut our piece here. All right. There we go. And we can put this on dimensionals, and then we can add a little bow to the front here. Not necessary. You don't need to add a bow. It's just kind of fun to add a little bit of extra. So we could optionally leave that on or off, I guess. All right. I love shaker boxes. I love boxes. They're just so cute. We're going to butt that right up against that bottom of that tree, and we barely have room. So I'm glad that we pushed that tree up to the top. It's not in the middle. It's up further, just to leave enough room for that little sentiment there. So cute, cute, cute. And let's add a double bow. Why not? Okay, right here. I'm going to make it nice and small so it doesn't disrupt the words too much. Oh, where'd my glue dots go? Oh, they're right here. My tails away. And I thought that it might look a little, well, on this one, I think it just kind of disappeared because it was white on white, but maybe it will look better up here on this one because you can actually see it. I think that's why I did that, because you can kind of see it up against that red there. Let's put this one on the top. You guys can let me know which one you like the best. And we got one more day tomorrow, and I'll be live at 2 p.m. Eastern. That one should be totally fine. That's our last day together for this craft along, but don't forget we have another craft along coming up in November. So there is the link for that sign up. You can get that full kit that includes the tutorial in the direction, or in the description of this video is the link for that one if you'd like to participate in that one too. And then of course we're going to do the same things, show you everything, go through all of the stuff. Everybody can watch for free, but if you'd like that tutorial, there's a couple different ways to get that. So oh, where did my, there's my my first two. I'm really good. I'm fine. All right, let me put my face back in here and say good night. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you placing orders in the last few days to get this tutorial for free. I really loved seeing notifications in my email saying that I had new team members, and then I got to send them the tutorial for free for this. And there's so many fun ways to get that. So you can also just order the tutorial by itself too. It's $35. It's 38 pages long. And I'd be happy to send that to you. You can come back to these videos anytime, any years from now even, and recreate these things with different papers or whatever you have on hand, or these same pieces if you still have these in your stash. So I appreciate all of you, and we will see you on one more day, day 6 of 6 tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. All right, thanks guys, and have a great day. Bye.